Well, folks, 10 weeks down, just 8 weeks to go left in the NFL season. This is an all new Terranadome. My name, of course, is Scott. And yeah, folks, we're more than halfway through the regular season, which is pretty hard to believe. It feels like yesterday that we just started out. Of course, we will start with your New England Patriots. We're a New England based show after all. Patriots going down to Tampa Bay last Sunday, and it was a pretty good game. We'll get into that. We'll also preview, well, first, then we'll also recap and analyze the other 13 games in week 10. And then we'll preview Thursday night football, and we will give you a six pack of Pick'em just to wet your whistle. Little tiny baby previews for 6 games in week 11. It's the Terranadome. It's been a staggered start. It's been a long day for me already, folks, but we will power through, and we start right now. The first interception led to a field goal, and the second one led to a touchdown. You lost by 3. That's why you don't turn the ball over. We see it every week from multiple teams. It happens all the time, Patriots. Yeah, Pat's +8, Pat's money line. Book it, baby.
Stop it. No.
Buffalo's going down.
No.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Respect the flying Elvis. Buffalo's going down. Denver money line. I like Denver money line too. I like Denver money line too. I think this is the week for Philly. Denver is better than that 2-2 record for
And that
sure.
Denver defense is pretty good.
It is. That's gonna be a low-scoring game over there in Philly. I think. I would hammer the under on that game too.
Known as fair square throughout my years, so I growl at the living foul. Black to the bone, my home is your home.
Well, welcome to Terranadome. Terranadome, and it starts right now. And of course, the second that I start recording, my stupid fat cat has to go take a dump in the litter box, so it will stink. My name is Scott Terrana. It's the Terranadome. We're closing in on our 75th episode of this iteration of the show, folks. Of course, if you remember, started off with a weird name. It was called Mixing a Water Bud. It was a little homage to Letterkenny. Did an original run with that. That went away for a while. Came back a couple years later. Did the Terranadome. And I think we did about 60 episodes of that iteration of it. Then that went bye-bye. And unfortunately, the digital footprint on that has disappeared, and that's on me. Although I do probably have them somewhere, just not on this machine. And now here we are, almost 75 episodes into the latest and greatest version of the Terranadome. So thank you for sticking with me, especially if you've been there with me from the beginning. And yes, folks, what you were seeing, at least those of you that are watching it on YouTube, this is my gag jersey of the year. So it is the Joe Flacco Cincinnati Bengals white stripe, the white stripe jersey, one of the best alternate jerseys in the history of the league. And it's my boy Joe Flacco. I couldn't help it. Had to do it again. Couldn't help it. Two out of the last 3 years it's been Flacco. I got a feeling next year it's going to be somebody else. So we'll see. But anyway, enough of the riffraff, enough of the gibbly gabbly. Let's get this thing. Those aren't words. Let's start this thing, folks. The New England Patriots travel to Tampa Bay. Now, of course, by this time, this would have been the third game on the slate of the week. We already had a doozy of a Thursday night game, and we had a game in Germany before this. But we always start with the New England Patriots on this show, folks, and we will do it right here. New England going out of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay coming off their bye week at 6-2. The Patriots meet them at 7-2. And a lot of people, including myself on this show, did not believe the Patriots would win this game, and boy, did they prove us wrong. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your New England Patriots win, and this time they win a legitimate, tough game against a great, really good opponent. Anyway, let's start it out. Pats let up an opening drive touchdown for the third time in the last 4 weeks, folks. You've been complaining about it because it's been a problem, and it has been a problem. Baker Mayfield to Emeka Egbuka from 21 yards out. 7-0 Tampa Bay just 4 minutes into this game. The teams would then trade punts for the next 4 possessions. Punt, 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 punt. Pats get the ball back at their own 28 with 11 seconds left in the first quarter. And at the first play, Drake May with a sick throw across his body to the right sideline as he's being hit. He hits rookie Kyle Williams, the third-round pick. Turns on the afterburners. He takes it 72 yards to pay dirt. Pats tie at 7-7 to end the first quarter. Teams once again trade punts to open the second. Bucks get a 36-yard field goal to take a 10-7 lead with 7:18 to play in the half. Pats get it at their own 22. with 7:10 to play in the half. They go on a 14-play drive, including a fake attempt at a QB sneak on 1st and goal to get into the end zone. Essentially killed the clock. Kind of a ballsy move by Mike Vrabel there. I wouldn't really call it a brilliant move per se, because there was a high chance that it wasn't going to work. But it does, because everything's coming up Pats this year. 4th and goal from the 1, and it's Drake May to Stephon Diggs in the back left corner of the end zone. A beautiful throw and an even better catch by Diggs. A leaping grab. 14-10 Pats as the time expires to end the half. And what does this team do that a lot of previous generations Patriots teams do? They double up. They go in, score at the half. They come out of the half, and they score again. This time, they get the ball at their own 35. First play is a Drake May completion to Mac Hollins for 10 yards. Second play, and it's Travion Henderson starting in place of an injured Ramondre Stevenson. He bounces it off the right edge, beats the entire defense to the end zone. 55-yard touchdown run. Pats are up 21-10 very early in the third quarter. Teams would then again trade punts on the next 2 possessions. Tampa gets it on their own 8-yard line with 10 minutes left in the third, and Baker goes 4 for 7 for 45 yards and a 10-yard touchdown to Tez Johnson, but the 2-point attempt fails, and it's 21-16 Patriots with 4:12 to play in the third. Pats go for it on 4th and 5 from the Tampa 42 on their next drive, and they don't get it. Too many fourth downs they went for on this day. Teams trade punts again for the next 3 possessions, so a lot of punt trading in between scores in this one. But the next Patriots drive, he hits Mac Hollins for another beautiful throw down the right sideline. 54-yarder set up the Patriots inside the Tampa 10-yard line. But 3 plays later, Drake May throws another one of those head-scratching picks, ladies and gentlemen. He's not throwing a lot of them this year, but when he's throwing them, they make you scratch your friggin' head. This one was into the end zone in double coverage. He's falling away. He throws it across his body, and the receiver never had a chance to catch this ball. Tampa catches it and falls down in the end zone, so they have a touchback, and they get it on their own 20 with 5:25 to go. And the Bucs would respond. They drive it down to the New England 27-yard line, but also come up short on a 4th down of their own. Pats get it on their own 30, run one up the middle for a little gain. Tampa uses its first timeout. And then once again, speed kills, and this team has got speed finally after all these years. It's Travion Henderson once again showing off that game-changing speed, thanks to an insane block, by the way, by Kaihiris Tunga, who's a 315-pound defensive tackle playing fullback here. He legitimately wipes out 4 defenders on this play. Henderson easily breaks the left edge, gets all the way out there, and is gone. 69-yard touchdown seals it for the Patriots. By the way, he looked back at the coaching staff on the sideline. That's how far away he was from the defense, to see if he should go in for the score or not. They obviously wave him in. Patriots 28-16. It's the 7th win in a row and tied for the best record in the NFL at 82. Something curious did happen after that drive, however, folks. The Bucs drove it up the field for a meaningless touchdown with 31 seconds to go. That made the game hit the over of 48.5. I guess a lot of people had the under on Sunday. I had the over. Tampa still loses by 5, 28-23 final. Patriots 8-2. Bucs fall to 6-3. Drake May, not his best day. 16 out of 31, but threw it for 270 and 2 touchdowns and an interception. I did notice, whereas a lot of other teams were being stupid enough to continue to blitz the crap out of Drake May. Well, Todd Bowles, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Bucs, realized that's really not working for these guys. I'm going to start dropping 7 and 8 guys into coverage, and it did work a little bit. Drake only completes just over 50% of his passes. Travion Henderson, 14 carries, 147 yards, 2 scores for him. Of course, if you take away the long touchdown runs, he had 12 carries for 23 yards. Not a volume runner. I don't think he may not ever will be. Also had his knee rolled up on in the second quarter. Thankfully, it was okay, but it was a little ugly looking at first. But he's good to go for tonight on Thursday Night Football. Mac Hollins led the team, 6 catches for 106 yards. Stephon Diggs, 5 catches for 46 in his score. And Kyle Williams had the 72-yard touchdown reception we mentioned earlier. Baker Mayfield, 28 out of 43, 273 through the air, and 3 touchdowns for him. Sean Tucker led the way in rushing for the Bucs, 9 carries for 53 yards. First running back all season long in 10 games. The first running back to eclipse the 50-yard mark against the Patriots this year. Emeka Egbuka, the rookie sensation wide receiver out of Ohio State for Tampa, 6 catches, 115 yards and a score. Tez Johnson in the place of the injured Chris Godwin and Mike Evans 4 catches for 42 yards and 2 scores. And Cade Otton, the tight end, 9 catches for 82 yards. We've already mentioned that next week, the New England Patriots will take on the New York Jets, who are 2-7. I will tell you how they got to 2-7 shortly on Thursday Night Football. Tampa Bay travels to Buffalo for a 1 o'clock game that should absolutely at least be a 4:25 game on Sunday. All right, folks, now we're going to go over the rest of Week 10, and I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of lopsided games, and recaps are almost pointless when you're 4 days away from them. So we're doing the old rapid-fire rundown. It's 13 games, and it's going to be in well less than an hour. You mark my words. So here we go. Last Thursday night. What a crap bag game this was, folks. Thursday Night Football, the Raiders at Broncos. Denver plays down to their opponent. Denver 10, Raiders 7. Denver improves to 8-2. Raiders fall to 2-7. The Raiders scored late in the first on an Ashton Janty 4-yard run. Broncos scored with 2:41 left in the second on a Troy Franklin 7-yard catch. The deciding score was a 32-yard field goal by Will Lutz for Denver just before the end of the third. Total yards in this game, Vegas 188, Denver 220. Both quarterbacks throw for well under 200 yards. Geno had 1 interception, and Bo Nix had 2. Geno was sacked 6 times, and Bo Nix was sacked just once. Nix has the lowest sack percentage in the NFL, which means he has the best offensive line in the league, and they put up 10 points. There's really not much to discuss or take away from this one, folks. Denver played down to the level of their opponent, but it was clear they were never going to lose this game. They had pressure on Geno Smith all night outside of their first drive. Raiders really couldn't do anything with it. Next up for Denver, they will host Kansas City on Sunday, 4:25 kickoff there. And we are going to be treated to one of the worst Monday Night Football games in recent memory. Vegas will take on the Dallas Cowgirls on Monday Night Football in Week 11. Yeah, that's how you do a rapid-fire rundown. Some of these games are going to be about that fast, folks. Next up, we go to Germany. 9:30 a.m. kick here on the East Coast. They're in Germany, in Olympic Stadium. Very interesting place to have an NFL game, if you ask me. It's the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Colts come into this one 7-2, Atlanta 3-5. Got a little dicey at one point in this game with Daniel Jones turning the ball over on a couple of possessions there in the third quarter, but it didn't hurt too much as Atlanta only scored 3 points off of them. Colts got a short TD after a Penix INT as well. Neither team could stop the run in this one, but the Colts used it to perfection and pure domination. Get a load of this stat line from Jonathan Taylor, who should be getting MVP votes this year for sure, ladies and gentlemen. Jonathan Taylor, 32 carries for 244 yards and 3 more rushing touchdowns. The 83-yard second touchdown was the longest run of the NFL season. Taylor leads the league in carries, 189. Rush yards, 1,139. Rush touchdowns with 15 already. Yards per carry at 6 yards per carry. And obviously, 113.9 yards per game. And 6 yards from scrimmage with 1,399. By the way, for reference, LaDainian Tomlinson holds the record. Good old LT in the classless organization of the Patriots, LT. Single season record for rushing touchdowns. He holds it with 28. So Taylor's definitely got some work to do with only 7 games left. But it's not out of the question with how good of a season he's having and how good that Colts offensive line is. For the Colts, Daniel Jones, by the way, not to bury the lead, but I'm highlighting the Colts for a reason here. They win this one 31-25, but it did take until overtime. Sorry, it did take till overtime for that to happen. Basically what happened in overtime was Atlanta couldn't do anything with their possession. Colts marched right down the field, and it was Taylor again, scoring to end it for the Colts. They win this one 31-25 and improved to 8-2, tied with the Patriots and Broncos for the best record in football. Daniel Jones, 19 out of 26 for 255, a touchdown and interception. He did fumble it 3 times and lost 1. He was sacked 7 times. The Atlanta defense has 13 sacks in the last 2 weeks. Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State, the rookie, 8 catches for 99 yards. Alec Pierce, 4 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. Flip side, Michael Penix Jr., 12 catches. 12 completions, 28 attempts, 177 yards, a touchdown, and a lost fumble. Bijan Robinson, 17 carries for 84 yards. Tyler Algier, The backup running back, who's admittedly good, but he's no Bijan Frise, Tyler Algier, 11 carries for 57 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns vultured from my man Bijan. Both of those touchdowns from 1 yards out. And Drake London, 6 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown. No other Falcons pass catcher had more than 2 catches in this game, folks. Next up, Indianapolis is needing a bye week at this point. They get one. Atlanta will host the Carolina Panthers, who we're about to talk about right now. Carolina, a 1 o'clock kick on Sunday. Speaking of Carolina, more crapbag football, folks. I had a funny feeling about this game. I had it both right in my pick'em pools. One of them is against the spread. One of them is straight out. I picked New Orleans to win this game. I knew New Orleans would win this game for whatever reason. I told you last week, Carolina has a winning record despite having a bottom 6 offense and a minus 35 point differential. It's now a bottom 5 offense and a minus 45 point differential. 17-7. New Orleans gets their second win of the season. They go to 2-8. Carolina falls to 5-5. Only 175 yards of offense for Carolina. Not an elite defense we're talking about here for the Saints, folks. But the Saints, they actually roll up 388 yards of offense, still on 17 points. Crapbag football at its finest here on the Rapid Fire Rundown on the Terranadome. Tyler Shuck. That is how you pronounce his name, folks. Tyler Shuck, second start taking over for Spencer Rattler for the Saints. This kid looked pretty good on Sunday. 19 out of 28. And yes, the Panthers do have a good defense. 19 out of 28 for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was the 40th overall pick in this year's draft. Alvin Kamara, 22 carries for 83 yards, 3 catches for 32. Chris the Floor is Olave. Probably wishes he got traded, but he didn't. 5 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown. And Juwan Johnson, 4 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. Flip side, Bryce Young, another stink line from him. 17 out of 25, 124 yards and an interception. Rico Dowdle, 18 carries for 53 yards. And Tet McMillan, 5 catches for 60 for the rookie. Okay, rapid fire rundown. I told you, real rapid fire this week, folks. New Orleans gets their bye week. They'll go into it at 2-8. Carolina will be at Atlanta, who are 3-6 for a Sunday show, matinee showdown, 1 o'clock game there. We keep it moving on the rapid rundown, folks. Rapid fire rundown. The Terranadome Giants at Chicago. Chicago comes into this one 5-3. Giants 2-7. The Giants would lose Jackson Dart in the third quarter of this game with a concussion. He was playing well before he went out. Bears got out to a 7-0 lead. Then they allow 17 unanswered points. Giants up 20-10 with 10 minutes to go and blew yet another fourth quarter lead, which they've been doing frequently lately. And as a result, probably accumulated over time, maybe the fact that the GM does not like him. But Brian Daboll loses his job. First head coaching fire of the season. Josh Morris had that for you in the season preview show back on September 4th. Caleb Williams, he's now tied with Bo Nix and Baker Mayfield with 4 fourth quarter comebacks to lead the NFL this season. Williams, 20 out of 36, 220 yards and a touchdown. 8 more rushes for 63 yards and a touchdown there as well, including one in the fourth quarter. Williams, 33 passing touchdowns and 10 interceptions in 26 career games. He was sacked 68 times last year. He's only been sacked 14 times in 9 games this year. Is he an elite quarterback? I don't think he'll ever get there, but he's competent. He does have talent, and he has a solid team around him, and a new coaching staff that's apparently working wonders with Ben Johnson at the helm. So maybe, just maybe, the Bears and their fans have a real quarterback here. At least their first one since Jay Cutler. I know. I said it. I know how it sounded. DeAndre Swift, 13 carries for 80 yards for him. 5 more catches for 18 through the air. Kyle Monangai, 7 carries for 28 yards and a touchdown. Rome Odunze continues to have a very nice season, very quietly out in Chicago. 6 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown. Colston Loveland, the rookie tight end, 4 catches for 55. And DJ Moore has 4 targets, but 0 catches. I don't know what's going on with DJ Moore. I'm going to assume it's an injury, and he's had it all season because he is clearly not the same. For the Giants, it's Jackson Darty Party. 19 out of 29 for 242 and 66 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground before being ruled out with a concussion. He is also ruled out for week 11, which means we get our once yearly dose of Jameis Winston. Mr. Crab Legs himself, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, infamously stole crab legs from a Publix in Florida. He starts against the Green Bay Packers next Sunday at 1 o'clock. Tyrone Tracy, 14 carries for 71 yards. Darius Slayton, 4 catches for 89 yards. Wandale Robinson, 6 catches for 62. And Theo Johnson, 7 catches for 75 yards. And my camera is fuzzy. As to be expected. Chicago, now 6-3. They will head to Minnesota for a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. I already mentioned the Giants will face the Packers at home on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Giants are 2-8 and now have an interim coach in place of Brian Daboll. We keep it moving on the rapid fire rundown, folks. This time it's down to Miami. Welcome to Miami, said the Dolphins to the Bills, because let me tell you what, folks, this Dolphins team is a complete enigma. And the Buffalo Bills, I am sorry. I'm not sorry at all, actually. They are not what we thought they were. They just simply are not. The Miami Dolphins beat the Buffalo Bills soundly, 30-13 in this one, folks. And maybe it's because it was raining in Miami. I don't know, but they were able to put up 30 points in a rainy game. I'm just saying. I really think Buffalo expected to show up and win this game. That's what I honestly think. I think they thought they were going to show up and blow doors on a team that they struggled with earlier on in the season on Thursday Night Football. But instead, the Dolphins had a commanding 16-0 lead at halftime. 2 lost fumbles by the Bills led to 10 points for Miami, and Josh Allen's interception did not result in points. Of course, Tua turned the ball over, a.k.a. Tua, the terrible Tuas, a.k.a. it takes Tua to tango Vailoa. Tua turned the ball over. He did his best to keep Buffalo in it with 2 interceptions of his own, but Buffalo didn't bother to capitalize, folks. Miami had 2 fourth-quarter touchdown drives that lasted a total of 58 seconds, 5 combined plays, and 99 combined yards. Real star of this game for me, Devin Achane, folks. Devin Achane, he goes wild in this one. 22 carries for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. He added 6 catches for 51. Jalen Waddle had another nice game. He has stepped up very nicely in the absence of Tyreek Hill, as long as Tua can see him. 5 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. Malik Washington, 2 catches for 9 yards and a touchdown. Tua, another mediocre line, 15 out of 21, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions for Tua. 9 interceptions in his last 4 games now. 13 interceptions lead the league. They still don't have a quarterback, but they did beat the Buffalo Bills on this day. Josh Allen, 28 out of 40, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, a lost fumble. James Cook has come back down to earth, sorta. He ran wild last week, but he's been a little up and down lately. Cook, 13 carries for 53 yards. Khalil Shakir, 7 catches for 58. Keon Coleman, 3 catches for 46 yards and a 35-yard touchdown. And Jackson Hawes, the 3rd tight end, a 26-yard touchdown catch. A few more wins like this might save Mike McDaniel's job, folks. And I'm not sure the Miami fans actually want that. I'm pretty sure that would cause dysentery. The Miami Dolphins, they will travel to Madrid, Spain, to take on the Washington Commanders. Yes, we're doing games in Germany and Spain now. Pretty soon we'll be doing them on the moon. Ha, just kidding. We can't get to the moon. It's a 9:30 a.m. kick on the East Coast for that one. Controversy. Buffalo will take on Tampa Bay. As we've already mentioned, both teams will be 6-3 coming into that contest. And 1 o'clock game on Sunday, that's a crime. That game should either be in prime time or it should be a 4:25 game. That's just me. We keep it going. This one will take me a little longer on the rapid fire rundown, but it's the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans. And somehow Houston, this is another game where you actually can sit there, I certainly did, and you can question whether things are a little bit funny with the league and the way that betting works and the way that money comes in and all this other stuff. It's just a little bit weird. Because Jacksonville, they had a 29-10 lead going into the 4th quarter of this game, folks, against a Davis Mills-led Houston offense. The Texans put up 26 points over the final 12-16 of the game. They took a 30-29 lead on a Davis Mills, of all people, 14-yard scramble down the left sideline for a touchdown. I couldn't have made that up. 2-point attempt was no good, but it's 30-29 Texans with 37 seconds to go. From their own 35 on the final play, Trevor Lawrence is sacked, strip sack caused by Will Anderson. Sheldon Rankins picks it up and runs it back for the icing on the cake. It's a 32-yard touchdown score, fumble return, and a 36-29 final by the Houston Texans. Trevor Lawrence is a boss. Guys, I think we can say it now. We're at 69 career regular season games. Hear me out. Trevor Lawrence is 27-42 as a starter in the NFL. His 79.3 QB rating is the lowest of his career since his rookie season. His 59.5 completion percentage is dog crap. It's also the lowest in the league. I didn't think I would actually ever get to say this after a couple years ago, but Mac Jones is apparently easily the best quarterback that was taken in the first round of the 2021 NFL draft. Who would have ever thunk it? Certainly not Bill Belichick if he had anything to do with it. Lawrence in this game, 13 out of 23, 158 yards, a touchdown and an interception. He added 35 yards on the ground. That's meaningless. Travis Etienne, 16 carries for 58 yards as his quarterback sucks, so he can't do anything on the ground. A touchdown for him. Jacoby Myers, 3 catches for 41. Parker Washington, 3 catches, 33 yards, and a score. On the other side, Davis Mills. Boy, Jacksonville made him look competent today, didn't they, folks? 27 out of 45, 292 yards and 2 touchdowns and an interception. By the way, Bill Belichick wanted to draft Davis Mills. 3 rushes for 20 yards and a score. That interception led to the first 3 points of the game for the Jags. Woody Marks, 14 carries for 63 yards and a score. He went down late in this game, limping to the sidelines with an injury, literally fell on the ground, didn't look good. Nick Chubb, 5 carries for 47 yards. Nico Collins, 7 catches for 136. Dalton Schultz, 7 catches for 53 and a score. And Jaden Higgins, their rookie third-round pick, 5 catches for 36 yards and a score. Next, the Houston Texans will travel to the Tennessee Titans to take on the 1-8 Titans coming off their bye Sunday at 1 o'clock. And Jacksonville will host the LA Chargers. Good luck, Jacksonville. Sunday at 1 p.m. Houston goes to 4-5. Jacksonville falls to 5-4. Okay, more crap bag football, more rapid fire rundown, and we are rapid fire tonight, folks. Josh Morris, he's getting the week off from the show. Hasn't been feeling that well. Plus, I needed him for 2 straight weeks, so now he gets a little break. Get well soon, buddy. Anyway, the Cleveland Browns travel to the New York Jets in a battle of really crappy teams. The Browns are who we thought they were. The Jets are the Jets. So a combined record of 3-14 coming into this game. Was this actually a good football game? No. But it was a 27-20 final. Cleveland was up midway through the first. They were up 7-0. Then they allow a 99-yard kickoff return touchdown. Then they go 3 and out. And then they let a punt get run back for a 75-yard touchdown. Jets and Browns mean stupid crap is about to go down. Browns would try at 14. They would tie at 14-14 with 10.5 minutes remaining in the half. Dylan Gabriel to Jerry Jeudy for a 22-yard score. Teams would then trade field goals going into the half. It's 17-17 at halftime. Breece Hall would score on a screen pass that he took 42 yards to the house on the second play of the fourth quarter. 24-17 Jets. That would be all they needed. 2 wins in a row for the New York Jets. I didn't think they'd win 2 games all year at one point. 27-20 is the final from the Meadowlands. This is how good their quarterback is. Justin Fields, 6 out of 11 for 54 yards in the game, and 42 of them came on that Breece Hall score in the fourth quarter. He had an interception. He added 28 rushing yards. Hall, 21 carries for 83 yards and a 42-yard touchdown reception. No pass catcher for the Jets had more than 1 reception. And they won the game. Ugh. They won with only 169 total yards. Dylan Gabriel went 17 out of 32. He threw for 167 on his own. He almost matched the Jets. 2 touchdowns for him. No picks. 54 yards rushing. Quinshawn Judkins, 22 carries for 75 yards for him. 2 catches for 10 yards. I thought he was going to have a bigger game. Jared Judah, he had 6 catches for 78 yards and a score. I probably should have grabbed him in fantasy, but I didn't think about it because I'm not that smart. Harold Fannin, 4 catches for 44. David Njoku, 2 catches for 21 yards and a score. We have already mentioned that next, the New York Jets will be in Foxborough tonight to take on the 8-2 Patriots on Thursday Night Football. Cleveland will battle Baltimore at home in a 4:25 game, but the Bucs and Bills are on at 1 o'clock. That makes sense. Yeah, speaking about Baltimore, we keep it moving, folks. Baltimore travel to Minnesota. A 3-5 versus 4-4 matchup. And this game was probably not as close as the score would indicate. Minnesota did lead at 10-9 at the half as the Ravens continued to stall out at the end of drives. 3 short Tyler Loop field goals had them within 1. 2 short touchdowns, the last one with 10:40 to go. would put them ahead for 27-13. That's the Ravens I'm talking about here. Vikings would get one back with 3.5 minutes to go. And then Baltimore would do just enough on their next possession to make Minnesota burn all of their timeouts. Vikings did get it back with 1:44 to go, but J.J. McCarthy, who looked off and out of sync with his receivers all day long, from what I could tell, at least his two really good ones, he couldn't hit the mark on 3 of his final 4 attempts on that final drive. He did scramble for 33 yards, but ultimately Minnesota only got out to their own 40. Final pass attempt to Aaron Jones fell incomplete. Baltimore wins it 27-19. Baltimore, since getting Lamar Jackson back, is 3-0. No, they're not. They're 2-0, right? Because Tyler Huntley actually managed to win a game for him. That was impressive in itself because Chicago's not a bad team this year. Lamar Jackson, 17 out of 29, 176 yards, a touchdown, 36 yards on the ground. Derrick Henry, 20 carries for 75 yards. Zay Flowers, 4 catches for 75. And Mark Andrews, 3 catches for 14 yards and a score. In the win for Baltimore, J.J. McCarthy, 20 out of 42. You don't want a rookie quarterback putting it up 42 times against the Ravens defense. That's not a good recipe to win. 248 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Both of those interceptions led to short field goals for the Ravens. Aaron Jones, 9 carries for 47 yards and a touchdown. He had 3 catches for 22 yards. Jordan Mason, by the way, I think had 10 carries for 26 or 25. Jalen Naylor, the decided third receiver on the Vikings, he had 5 catches for 124 yards and a score. On the other side of that, Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, 23 targets and just 7 catches for 72 yards combined. Minnesota's not going to win many games that way because all of a sudden they don't have a running game either, guys. So next up, Baltimore, as we mentioned, they will go to Cleveland to face the 2-7 Browns, 4-5 Ravens at 2-7 Browns at 4:25 on Sunday. Make that make sense for me. And Minnesota will host the 6-3 Chicago Bears at 1 o'clock on Sunday. We are flying today, folks. It's the Rapid Fire Rundown. It's the Terranadome. My name is Scott. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But any help is much appreciated, folks. I appreciate all the support as always. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they travel. This is the beginning of the late window slate, by the way, folks. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they traveled out to the LA Chargers, the San Diego Superchargers, to take on the 6-3 Chargers. Steelers came in at 5-3. And this was not a close game, folks. Not a good day for the Steelers offense at all. They would get an early field goal, but on the next drive, Aaron Rodgers is sacked in the end zone for a Chargers safety. The Chargers would then go on to score 22 unanswered points. It was a 25-3 game with 5 minutes to go. Pittsburgh would get a cheap garbage time touchdown 2 minutes later. 25-10 is the final score. The Chargers whoop up on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They improved to 7-3. Pittsburgh falls to 5-4. And the Steelers have now lost 3 out of their last 4. So they're falling just a little bit, folks. That early start was a fluke, as we all kind of expected. Only 221 yards of offense for Pittsburgh here. Aaron Rodgers goes 16 out of 31 for 161 yards, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. Jalen Warren had 14 carries for 70 yards and 2 catches for 21. DK Metcalf just 3 catches for 35. And Roman Wilson 2 catches for 35 and a touchdown. DK Metcalf, in his first year with Pittsburgh, is on pace for his lowest amount of receptions, targets, and receiving yards in his career so far, folks. Other side, Justin Herbert didn't really have to do that much and didn't. 20 out of 33 for 220 and a score for him. Kamani Vidal with the heavy lifting here. 25 carries for 95 yards and a score for the third-string running back, who's filled in that role very nicely in the absence of Omari and Hampton. And Ladd McConkey, 4 catches for 107 yards and a touchdown. Quentin Johnston, 5 catches for 42. And Keenan Allen, 2 catches for 19 yards. Next up, as we just mentioned a moment ago, the Chargers will be at Jacksonville to take on the 5-4 Jaguars Sunday at 1 o'clock. And Pittsburgh will host the Cincinnati Bengals, who beat them earlier this year on Thursday Night Football. And what was a doozy of a game, by the way. The 3-6 Bengals coming off their bye. It'll be at 1 o'clock. Now, we must get to the Sunday late window of blowouts slate, because we had 3 of them. 2 of them by the same score, by the way. First, we'll start in Seattle, where it was the Seattle Seahawks at 6-2 taking on the Arizona Cardinals, who were 3-5 coming into this one. It was never a game, folks. Arizona was down 35-0 with 8:33 left in the first half. Not much else needs to be said. It's still an impressive win, granted of the nature of it. It's still an impressive win albeit it's over a pretty bad team missing its starting quarterback who sucks. Anytime I get a chance to say Kyler Murray sucks, I'm going to do it. But it's still over a divisional opponent by Seattle. Their offense really didn't have to do much in this game, and they didn't, folks. The defense took care of it. 2 Jacoby Brissett fumbles were both returned by touchdowns, and both of them were returned by DeMarcus Lawrence for touchdowns. For the Seahawks, Darnold goes 10 out of 12 for 178 yards and a touchdown and an interception, and he lost 2 fumbles. And Seattle still wins this game 44-22, folks. 44-22, your final score. Kenneth Walker, 14 carries for 67 yards. Zach Charbonnet, 14 carries for 83 and a score. And George Halani, the third string running back, got in on the action. 7 carries for 31 yards and a score for him. Jackson Smith-Njigba, 5 catches for 93 yards and a score. Cooper Kupp, 2 catches for 74. Flip side, Jacoby Brissett, 22 out of 44, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 lost fumbles, 31 rushing yards. Emery Demercado, they're waiting for Trey Benson to come back, but I know a guy, he's got a meniscus injury he's trying to come back from. I know another guy that's got a meniscus injury. He still can't go back to work. It's been several months now. He had 4 carries for 64 yards, 3 catches for 40. Trey McBride quietly becoming maybe the best tight end in the NFL at this time, folks. 9 catches for 127 yards and a touchdown for him. Marvin Harrison Jr., 3 catches for 33 yards and a score for him. He is out for week 11, Marvin Harrison Jr., because he had an emergency appendectomy this week. So he is out for week 11. That is not going to help Arizona because they have to host San Francisco, and it's going to be a pissed-off 49ers team Sunday at 4:05. Meanwhile, the Seahawks will go travel to the Rams to take on them at 4:05 as well. Speaking of the Rams and 49ers on Rapid Fire Rundown, folks, it is the LA Rams traveling to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. Here, Rams came in 6-2. San Francisco came in 6-3. And this one really wasn't close either. The Rams got out to a 21 lead a minute and a half into the second quarter. And with the exception of their next 2 drives, they literally couldn't be stopped in this game. It seems to me that the amount of injuries to key players on the 49ers defense finally caught up with them in this one, folks. Matt Stafford, he continues to excel. 24 out of 36 for 280 yards and 4 touchdowns for Stafford. He has a 25-2 touchdown to interception ratio. His 25 touchdowns lead the league, as does his 269.7 yards per game average. He is now second in MVP odds behind Drake May. I would argue that Stafford deserves it more, but we'll see. Also, Stafford is finally a 500 quarterback in the NFL regular season. Can you believe it, folks? He was 74-90-1 with Detroit. He's gone 41-25 with the Rams. In my mind, Stafford is no doubt a Hall of Famer. Kyron Williams, 14 carries for 73 yards. Blake and a touchdown. Blake Corum, 13 for 56. Devontae Adams appeared to pull his back late in this game by simply trying to do it in cut. That's not great for the Rams. He had 6 catches for 77 yards and a score. Puka Nacua, 5 catches for 64 yards and a score. And Colby Parkinson, the tight end, 4 catches for 41 and a score. Want to give some love to Mac Jones here, as much as it pains me to do it. But Mac Jones in this game was 33 out of 39, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception in the loss. Brock Purdy may be returning this week. It sounds like there's at least a decent chance that he does. I never thought I would do it on the show, but Mac deserves some love, folks, so we're going to give it to him. In place of Purdy this year, Mac Jones is a 5-3 record, has a career-high 69.6% completion percentage, has a career-high in yards per attempt. He is second best in the league in pass yards per game to the aforementioned Stafford. 13 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions so far. Has not had a full complement of weapons at any point in these 8 games. I am guessing that Mac has earned himself a starting job somewhere else in 2026. Good for the kid. Never thought I'd say it. Still don't like him, but good for the kid. Meanwhile, we continue. Christian McCaffrey, just 12 carries for 30 yards. I think that they realized they were down early and they kind of took it easy on him. He did have 8 catches for 66. Brian Robinson Jr., the backup, 8 carries for 41 yards and a score for him. George Kittle, 9 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. And Jawan Jennings, he had 6 for 71 and a touchdown, but he lost a fumble. We already mentioned the Rams will host the 7-2 Seahawks, a battle of 7-2 teams Sunday at 4:05 at home. And the 49ers, they will take on the Arizona Cardinals, who are 3-6. That game also at 4:05. It is in Phoenix. We have 2 more left on the Rapid Fire Rundown, folks. This is one of my best Rapid Fire Rundowns, maybe the best Rapid Fire Rundown I've ever had. Who knows? Maybe it's the worst. I don't know. That's up to you, I guess. I'm doing it the way I'm going to do it, folks. Anyway, we have one more 44-22 game. It was Detroit at Washington. If you just woke up from a coma, or you just woke up from under a rock, because maybe you don't want the coma, that's a little too controversial. I bet you could guess which team scored 44 and which one scored 22. What a difference a year makes for the Washington Commanders. Detroit was up 25-10 at halftime. That gives it away. Lions win this one 44-22, folks. Detroit goes to 6-3 and Washington falls to 3-7. But anyway, Detroit was up 25-10 at halftime, then came out of the half and scored a touchdown 3 minutes later. Game out of reach at 32-10. Ends up being 44-22. That's all she wrote. Washington's aging defense is catching up to them. I think that's pretty obvious now. Guys like Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, they're not the same that they were last year. But no one is going to expect this team to win games without Jaden Daniels and without Terry McLaurin, and they've been without both of them for what feels like 3/4 of the season so far. So the 3-7 Commanders now have to travel to Spain to play the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. In the win for the Lions, Jared Goff, 25 out of 33, 320 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, huge day for the kid, the third-year back. 15 carries for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. He added 3 catches for 30 and a score. David Midnight in Montgomery, 15 carries for 71 yards. Jamison Williams, 6 catches for 119 yards and a score. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 5 catches for 58 and a score. Sam Laporta, 5 for 53. Other side, Marcus Mariota, 16 out of 22. 213 yards and 2 touchdowns for him. Zach Ertz, 4 catches for 54. And Deebo Samuel, 4 catches for 29 yards. I've done that 6 times now. And a touchdown. Detroit is at Philadelphia on Sunday Night Football. And as I already mentioned, Washington and Miami, they will be a pair of 3-7 teams meeting up in Spain. 9:38 a.m. kick on Sunday morning. Just one more left on the rapid fire rundown of week 10, week 11 / edition of the Terranadome. We started off week 10 with a 10-7 game on Thursday night, folks. We ended week 10 with a 10-7 game on Monday night. Isn't that great? The Philadelphia Eagles travel to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. And you know what? Whatever, man. Game was scoreless until 9 minutes to go in the third when the Eagles kicked a 39-yard field goal. That's awesome. Then they would go up 10-0 with 10:44 to play. Green Bay responded with an 11-play, 75-yard drive that ended up in a Josh Jacobs touchdown. Green Bay would lose their second fumble of the day on the next drive. They get it back one more time, but a 64-yard field goal tried by Brandon McManus was no good. Eagles win ugly again, 10-7. They've gotten really good at this. Jalen Hurts had 183 passing yards and a touchdown. 27 rushing yards, no tush-push touchdown. Saquon Barkley had 22 carries for 60 yards. It's less than 3 yards a carry. Also had 3 catches for 41 yards. Devontae Smith had 4 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. Dallas Goedert had 4 for 43. And A.J. Brown just 2 catches for 13 yards. And that was on a Twitch stream with his friend, apparently, and said, if you have me in fantasy, get me off of your team. That's true. I've seen it. I've heard it. It's real. He didn't do a very good job of squashing it today either. He will never be happy unless he is getting 8 to 10 catches a game, I don't think. Still would love to have him in New England, but probably never going to happen. Jordan Love, 176 scoreless yards without an interception. Josh Jacobs, 21 carries for 74 yards and a score, and 5 catches for 33. Love and Jacobs both lost fumbles. Neither of them led to Philadelphia points. Philadelphia at 7-2 will host the Detroit Lions at 6-3 on Sunday Night Football. And Green Bay will be at the G-Men to take on the New York Giants, who are 2-8 Sunday at 1 o'clock. That is it for the Week 10 Rapid Fire Rundown, folks. Thank you for sticking with me. It's the Terranadome. So I'm going to hack my way through a little Thursday Night Football preview for you, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we've got the Patriots here, and this will be part of my six-pack pickled peppers. There's no more dry food left. Why are you still trying to find it? Why am I talking to cats, dude? Anyway, the Jets come into Foxborough fresh off two wins in a row. They're 13-point underdogs in this game, and I understand why they are. But at the same time, It doesn't feel like they should. It doesn't feel like it's going to be that much of a lopsided score to me tonight, folks. The Patriots are beat up. If they can manage to win this game and they can get through this game, then they are essentially looking at a bye week, right? It actually would be a bye week and a half because they'd have 10 days off between their next game. It's the Jets. I don't think there's going to be a lack of motivation here just because the Jets aren't playing well. Mike Vrabel's not going to let this team sleepwalk into a game. The Jets also do not have a good quarterback, and that's putting it lightly. They had in one game this year, they had negative 10 passing yards for an entire game. I think it was against the Broncos in that horrible London game that they both played horribly in. There's no reason why the Patriots shouldn't win this game. Now, Ramondre Stevenson is out. Austin Hooper's out. I want to say Christian Ellis is out. It's not a full roster for the Patriots, and like we said, we're 11 weeks into the season now. They're starting to get beat up a little bit. You just came off a big win against Tampa. This looks like a letdown spot. I just don't know, especially for the Jets. Their only true threat at wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, is out for this game. I think you can really attack them any way you want. I will say this, though. For the Jets, I think that they're going to make life difficult. I don't think I should have went with the over 43 in this game. Aaron Glenn obviously he was a very good cornerback in the league for a number of years. He was a very good defensive coordinator in Detroit. And now he, along with he's the head coach, Steve Wilks, also a very good defensive coach, is the defensive coordinator for the Jets. I think that it's possible they're going to confuse Drake May into an interception, maybe two in this game. But I really think that unless the Patriots turn the ball over 3 times or more, I don't see them losing this game. But I do think it's going to be tight, probably low scoring. I don't know. Give me 24 to 17, something like that. The Jets have actually done a good job with good defenses the last 2 weeks. I'll go 24-17. It's pretty simple from a defensive standpoint for the Patriots in this one. I am picking the Jets to cover the plus 13. I think that's too big a line in a divisional game, unless it's the Raiders playing anyone in their division. But yeah, give me 24-17, so it'll be under the 43. So I already made a foolish bet. But basically, the only chance that the Jets have in this game is if Breece Hall goes crazy. And like I said earlier, up until week 10, no running back had gone for over 50 yards against the Patriots. And as it stands, no running back has still gone over 53 yards against the Patriots. Of course, Breece Hall is a very good dual threat. Honestly, would have loved it if they brought him in here. Surprised he didn't go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Probably thankful he didn't go to the Kansas City Chiefs. 24-17 New England. That's my preview and prediction for tonight. I don't usually do predictions, folks. So because my team's in it, I need to do a little predicting. That was my first in the 6-pack of Pick'em Peppers, whatever. I'm just trying to make things sound funny, and they're not. There are a few things that have struck me as odd for week 11, though. This one is a game that I would have talked about either way, regardless. But Buffalo is hosting Tampa Bay. Now, both teams are coming off a loss. It's in Buffalo. But Tampa Bay are 5.5-point underdogs in this game. And I don't see that, folks. I don't see that at all. In fact, I'll give you one right now. You want to be safe? Bet the 5.5. Bet the plus 5.5. You'll be safe because I think Tampa Bay wins this game outright in Buffalo. Something is wrong with the Bills. Something's not right. And honestly, Tampa Bay didn't do a good job of Travion Henderson. James Cook is a little bit different of a runner. If you can slow down James Cook, it's been proven so far this year. And their 3 losses, Cook has not played well. If you can slow him down, you're probably going to beat the Bills. It's not all Josh Allen. They don't have enough, especially because their top tight end, Dalton Kincaid, who was emerging as a breakout star this year, he's not going to be available for this game in all likelihood. Give me Tampa. You want to be safe? Take them plus 5.5. I will take them to win outright in Buffalo. Next, the Green Bay Packers are 7-point favorites at the New York Giants this week. I know. At least we thought early in the year the Packers were going to be one of the best teams in the league. I don't think that anymore. For sure, I don't think that anymore. But still, 7 points, that makes sense, right? Well, I'm going to give you a reason why not. And I'm going to use my good buddy Josh Morris's theory on this one. I don't even know who the head coach, I don't forget the name of the head coach that took over for Brian Daboll from the Giants. But you've got Jameis Winston starting back there. I believe that they are going to steal one from the Packers here. I believe firmly that with the coaching change and the quarterback change, because Winston doesn't get that many opportunities to start, he is going to chuck the ball 45 plus times. He might throw for 350 to 400 yards, even with no real downfield threat. They've got a little bit of talent on that offense. Hopefully Darius Slayton plays, because that would be a downfield threat. Winston excels at the deep ball. I think the Giants steal one. I think they steal one. They might not win another game the rest of the season, but I think they steal one, and they beat the Packers at home. You want to take them +7 and be safe? Cool, go ahead. I think the Giants win that game. I'll give you an even crazier one than that. The Houston Texans, fresh off their 26-point fourth quarter comeback against the Jaguars, they're traveling to Tennessee to take on a 1-8, should be 0-9 Tennessee Titans team. Why am I talking about this game? Houston is 6-point favorites in this game. They are going to lose to the Tennessee Titans coming off their bye this week. I know. 3 in a row where you're like, well, at least the last 2 where you're like, is this guy smoking crack? Does he know what he's talking about? Yeah. No, I've been right on most of the season, folks. It's a weird year. Houston's a weird team. I want to say they're getting CJ Stroud back. I don't care. They're not going to have any running game. And Tennessee, not terrible in pass coverage. It's just whether or not Cam Ward can put up 20 points. I think if they put up 20 points, I think Tennessee wins this game. Want to be conservative, take Tennessee +6, go right ahead. I think Tennessee wins the game outright. It's just one of those weird years. Just got a weird feeling about it. I certainly nailed it with the Saints last week if you want some proof. Again, Carolina was 5-4 going into that game. Houston's 4-5 going into this game. This is no juggernaut, folks. The Texans are a fraud team. No running game either. So give me the Titans outright. Just from food for thought. That's all. Just some. Next up. 5th game in the 6-pack. The Kansas City Chiefs are traveling to Denver to take on the 8-2 Broncos. Here's the thing about the Denver Broncos. And we've already mentioned it earlier in the show. The Denver Broncos love to play down to their level of opponent. But you know what else they do? They play up to their level of opponent as well. And the Kansas City Chiefs have been a little bit right for the picking this year. At one point, they got hot for a little while and we said, they're back. They come into this game at 5-4. Denver's 8-2. I think the Broncos win this game. I really think the Broncos win this game. The Chiefs are favored by 3.5. You should hammer Denver +3.5. I think they're the more complete team. Knicks has a lot of up and down games. I know that J.K. Dobbins just went on IR, but the rookie R.J. Harvey is an explosive back. I like Denver. I like Denver to win that game outright. So you got 3 home dogs in a row in the Giants, the Titans, and the Broncos. Give me all 3 of them. They're home dogs. That doesn't happen that often. Give me the home dogs. Home dogs. I used to call my buddies that. What's up, home dog? That one never really stuck, but I tried. Stuck. This has been a tough show, folks. And finally, this one might make more sense to some of you guys anyway. On Monday Night Football, or I think it's Sunday Night Football, Detroit will travel to Philadelphia. 6-3 Lions versus 7-2 Eagles. Eagles have been winning downright ugly football for the most part this year, folks. Detroit are 2.5-point dogs. Give me the +2.5 all day. I think Detroit wins that game outright. There's your 6-pack of pick'em, folks. Jets +13. Buffalo money line. Tampa +5.5, whatever you're more comfortable with. Giants money line or Giants +7, whatever you're more comfortable with. Tennessee outright or +6 or whatever you're more comfortable with. Denver outright, and I'm confident in Denver outright. Kansas City favored by 3.5. Or Detroit outright. They're 2.5-point dogs to Philadelphia. But either way, Week 11 should be a good slate, folks. My name is Scott Terrana. It's the Terranadome. Thank you for once again checking us out this week on the show. Next week, Josh Morris will be back on the show. And at that point, I'm going to have to figure out what we're doing for the Thanksgiving week because we're certainly not going to put a show out on Thanksgiving, folks. Just saying. just for your sake and for mine. So do me a favor, guys. Tell somebody you love them today because tomorrow is not promised. And I mean that, folks. That is the truth. Tell your loved ones, tell your friends how much you appreciate them, how much you care about them. Special shout out to my guy, Mark Smith, aka DJ Mark After Dark, for throwing down the opening tune for me. Very much appreciated as always, my friend. And yeah, we will be back in 1 week's time on the Terranadome. Have a great week, everybody. Peace.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is so prestigious. Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Joe Hendry.